The Nikki Clark Show, transforming lives one story at a time. If you would like to be a guest or become a part of our live studio audience or even to become a sponsor, just go to www.nikkiClarkNetwork.com.
Right. Thank you for joining the Nikki Clark Show. And we have a fantastic lady in the world of yoga. She is the founder of Salam Love Wellness. Please welcome Salam Debs to the show. Isn't she lovely? Tenestalan.
Very good.
What did I just say?
You said, how are you? Like a greeting in one of the Ethiopian languages, one of the many Ethiopian languages.
Okay, how many languages spoken in Ethiopia?
There's over 80 languages.
80?
Yeah.
Wow.
And that's the main language, which is Amharic.
Amharic. Okay. And that was, I think, a language spoken by the early Israelites, right? Many, many years ago?
Similar.
Similar?
Yes, there is some connection to Ethiopia and the Jewish community in
Okay.
Israel. Yes.
Okay.
there is.
Good, good. So you were born in Ethiopia?
I was actually born in Jordan.
Okay.
But
Oh.
I came here when I was 2 years old. All my family is Ethiopian. And yes, I grew up in the culture. I've been immersed in the culture my whole life. But I also feel very Canadian as well.
Okay, fantastic. Now, you weren't always into this lifestyle that you have of yoga. You came from a corporate world. Can you talk about that?
Yes, so I was in the corporate world for more than, I think, 7 years.
What did you do?
I was working in I was a manager for a communications company. I won't say which one. But I was doing that. And it served its purpose at first because I was a single mother and I was able to provide for my son. I was able to work part-time and pick up hours and
Sure.
be a full-time mom at some level.
Yeah.
And then it stopped serving its purpose. And because I've always been a creative, my background was always like in music and writing and songwriting and dancing.
Do you sing?
I do.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
We're going to have
We're
to.
not gonna put you on the spot,
Oh, jeez. All right. I was so hoping. Okay.
but maybe next time. Yes. So I was in the corporate world, but I knew after I started getting that itch and that longing inside of me to want to do something different and to want to start to do something more creative, and that's when I found yoga.
And that's when you found yoga. So tell me a little bit about yoga. What are the principles of yoga?
Principles of yoga. So yoga, the definition of yoga is to yoke, which is union or integration. So the idea is bringing together the physical and the spiritual, and kind of creating that mind-body connection. It's the union of the mind-body connection together. And some of the principles I would say is definitely physically transformation, like being able to be healthier inside. And then there's also emotional transformation, like being able to let go of any grievances.
Yes.
And then there's mental transformation, which is being able to move away from that kind of habitual thought pattern that a lot of us spend most of our lives in.
Right, right.
Yes.
Break some chains. How many people hear yoga on a regular basis? It's a lot of people.
Yeah, I think yoga is really popular right now. I think people are starting to recognize, they're getting away from maybe there was misconceptions, I think, with yoga previous. A lot of people thought that you had to maybe reconcile your religion or reconcile your beliefs, but really I think it can be melded into whatever it is that you're doing. So if it is that whatever religion you're in, whatever culture you're in, you can integrate yoga into your life.
Okay. What are some of the benefits of yoga?
So many benefits. For me, every time I get on the mat, personally, it's a way for me to transform.
How many poses? Or depends on the type of yoga, right?
So many poses. I mean, there's hundreds of poses, but there's different styles of yoga. So there's Hatha yoga, there's Ashtanga yoga, there's Vinyasa. There's many types of yoga.
Okay.
And the benefits definitely are strengthening, endurance,
Flexibility, right?
flexibility, but that's usually, a lot of people think, I've had a lot of clients say to me, well, I'm not flexible, so I'm not going to try yoga. And I think that's the biggest misconception. I think it's more about strengthening, building endurance, mental stability, emotional stability. And so getting on your mat becomes a refuge and an ability for transformation, I believe.
And you just have to get over that hurdle because, the first time I did a downward dog, I couldn't get up. Someone had to prop me back up. So you know what I'm talking about. But then it gets easier and easier as you do it, right? And you shouldn't be, ashamed of whatever state you're in terms of fitness.
Totally, and that's the incredible thing about yoga. It's not competitive. It's different than unconventional. It's like conventional exercise is more about competition, more about a goal in mind. Yoga is less about goal. It's more about your connection with yourself. It's creating that mind-body connection and reconnecting, starting to tune into your body, tap into your body, listen to the subtle cues, because most of us are on autopilot. We don't need to be.
Yeah.
But it's the culture that we live in where we're not really listening to the subtle cues. So yoga is an opportunity for us to become more receptive and curious.
Okay.
Yeah.
So who come to see you? Who are your clients?
It's diverse. I have anyone between, their 70s to little children. I have
You have children coming?
Yes.
Yeah. Who's your youngest client?
I had a client that's 4 years old, and I have a yoga youth program that I created. So I work with children in schools and in workshops, and I go to parents in their families' homes to teach them yoga. So my idea is that health is a birthright. It's not a luxury, and so we all should be able to be offered that opportunity to experience that.
Absolutely. I work with youth. I'm frontline, and I go on and I work with young ladies between the ages of 8 and 11. And they would need someone like you to come in and just do a little namaste with them, because there's a lot of unrest. Something has happened where they are crying out for help. The behavioral issues that I see are alarming. So it's really important. I don't know if it's nutrition or if it's their environment or maybe it's a combination, but I really see that they're in crisis and they need people like us to come in and work with them.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that too, working with youth. I feel that there's an epidemic.
Yes.
That children are crying out because there's a disconnection. They're more connected to their electronics than they are to the families.
They're distracted.
Yes, they're very distracted. And there's a lack of passion and purpose for them. They're not spending much time outside, so they're not seeing much of nature. And so there's a disconnection. Children are experiencing depression, anxiety, very high levels of stress, which is not really something that we see in kids.
No.
So I think it's crucial that we just plant these seeds for these children.
Absolutely. And that's what you do with your youth group?
Yes.
Okay. And how long has it been around now?
So this is the second year that I've had the youth program, and I have a summer camp that's coming up in July, and it's incredible just to see them develop, see them open up and express themselves, and have that platform is incredible.
Okay. Have you had any challenges moving from the corporate world to what you're doing now, opening up the wellness studio?
Yeah, there's definitely challenges because entrepreneurship is never easy. You are your
And sometimes misunderstood.
Yes. You're your own boss. You set the limits, you set the boundaries, the guidelines, and so I decide, whether I'm going to do an 8-hour or a 10-hour or a 3-hour. I get to make that decision. So there isn't really anybody governing me, and I have to make that decision for myself.
It takes a lot of discipline.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Where can people locate your studio? Where can they go and get more information from you?
So if you'd like to do any personal private yoga sessions with me or do the youth program for your children, you can go to www.salamlovewellness.com. Also, you can check out my new studio that I get on May 1st, which is communityofheartsyoga.com. And I'd love to see you and reach out and contact and connect with you.
Before you go, can you do something for me? Because I love languages. I love to listen to languages, and I believe everyone should be communicated to in their mother language. So in the language that you grew up listening to, can you just talk to the audience lens and maybe to offer encouragement to someone listening?
Oh boy, okay. Well,
Keep it simple.
I think I'm not very well versed in my language. I could probably, what I would offer, I would say thank you to everyone. That's something, and a greeting to everyone. So you can learn the word amasiganado. So amasiganado would mean thank you, and Saganalo from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much.
I'm a Saganado.
I'm a Saganalo. And namaste.
And namaste. Thank you very much. Salam, Debs, everybody. Thank you so much. We'll be back.